watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. We are being joined by the Rutabaga today, okay? Because our first guest today has your Rutabaga facts. That's right, Rutabaga facts with Julie Finley, Mom in the Know, Ambassador for Foodland Ontario. And I honestly, I think the Rutabaga, Julie, gets a bit of a bad name, right? It's got this waxy feel. People are like, there should be a wick in this. I'm not eating it. It's a candle.
And you see it in the grocery store and you do, oh, interesting, yeah. Or you pick it up and you're like, what in the world? How do you even deal with this?
Is that a medicine ball, but in a small size? Exactly. We can teach kids about nutrition and health at the same time. We're taking over the education system, Julie and I, today.
But truth be told, the Rutabaga is delicious, full of vitamin C. You can eat it raw. Show everybody at home you can eat it raw. I love it raw.
Look at everybody at home.
So everyone, you could have hummus, you can have any type of dip, you can eat it raw. You can make it into French fries, easy. Turn your oven on to 400. Toss it with a tablespoon of oil with any of your spices. I did a little bit of salt, pepper, and paprika. But anything, if you have an air fryer, fill your boots. You could do that for sure.
You love your air fryer, right? Like,
I do like my air fryer.
Don't you have like the 2-story air fryer?
I do, because I have a 16-year-old at home.
Air fryer.
I have the penthouse air fryer.
Yeah.
And you know what? At first, I'm like, Mom, this is a lot. It's a lot. You know what, Jackson? I could put 2 chickens in there. His friends come over. We have tacos on the go. Like, it's fast, efficient, and it's good.
I'm trying to convince Monica to get one.
Just borrow mine for a week.
Yeah, you offered that to me. I'm going to come and get it. You know what? This is the second time you've offered. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, I have some dishes for you here.
Okay. I know from the last time.
No, I just don't want to forget. Sorry, everybody. We're having a moment, okay? Just give me a second here.
I just want to make sure everybody's fed.
When these things come to me.
Okay.
All right.
So we are going to make gingered rutabaga muffins, because what else you can do with the rutabaga, and we didn't get to talk about it too much. Really, this is shredded. So when you get your rutabaga, everybody at home, it does last up to 3 months in your fridge or in a cool place.
Really?
It is so good.
Wow.
It's always on sale. You'll see the Foodland Ontario. You'll know it's local, it's fresh, and it's got a waxy thing. So food fact, you said at the beginning, the idea is it a turnip or is it a rutabaga?
Right.
It is a rutabaga. The difference of a turnip is about the size of your fist, and it's purple and white.
Yes.
The rutabaga is full of a waxy cover. So you're just looking for wax on it.
Do you peel this? Do you?
You do. You peel it for sure, and then you go from there.
Right.
So what I did was I peeled it and grated it, and I'm starting off with some flour. My oven's on at 375. I've got the muffin tins ready to go. I've got 2.5 cups of flour, half cup of oats. I've got a tablespoon of baking powder, some salt, and I'm just going to mix that together. Why would salt be sticking?
What are you doing, salt?
I don't know.
Get out of there. There's a little humidity,
exactly. And then candied ginger.
Oh, I love candy.
Yeah, try one.
Okay.
So delicious.
I will. Thank you.
So this is like a lovely bite. In fact, I had John yesterday try my rutabaga muffins, and I didn't tell him what was in it.
Okay.
And you're lucky I got 5 here.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They're good. They're good.
And even like the ginger, because not everybody likes the...
You can't even taste it.
The candied ginger.
Yes.
But if you put it in something,
absolutely.
It changes the flavor of it a little.
So that's our dry. We're going to add our 1 egg. I know, sorry everyone, I didn't tell you that was a cup of raisins, but everybody knows, go to foodlandontario.ca.
Exactly.
For all the recipes full. So this is a cup grated. Easy to grate. Just get your grater out. Put it in there, 1.5 cups, sorry.
Can I help you here?
Yes,
what do we got
add the
here?
milk.
Little milk.
3/4 cup of milk.
All right.
1/4 cup of oil.
Yeah.
This is honey.
Oh,
everyone.
Look at that,
honey is delicious. A fun fact
you always
about
should pour honey like this, by the way, because it's more fun.
Actually. Well, it's probably better because I have something like a honey bear issue. Anytime I'm near honey, it ends up all over me. So, but a fun fact, your honey is, when it's local, you'll be able to look on the back and find out where the bees were. It's all the flowers within the radius.
Really?
Yes, there's so many fun facts. You're gonna just mix that together.
Okay, you got it.
And you're gonna add this in, and we've got our muffins. We won't have time to put them
That's
in the
okay.
things.
We
but
were
that's
doing.
okay.
We were having too much fun off the top
The
here.
other thing we're making is a silky rutabaga soup. I'm saying it's silky and velvety, whichever one you like, only because it's so smooth. So it's right here done. And what I've done is I've actually chopped up little rutabaga sticks and fried them with a little bit of butter. So put those on the top afterwards. What makes this delightful is after you're making it, you put in a half cup of maple syrup and a half cup of cream or milk, whatever you choose to do.
Gotcha.
But I've already started a shallot with some garlic, and then I'm literally putting in 8 cups of rutabaga, 2
listen
apples.
to that sizzle at home, folks.
Yes, 2 apples. It says to peel them, but you know what I'm finding lately? When you're blending something afterwards, you don't need to peel. It all blends.
Yeah, no, I
It's
agree.
easy to
Yeah,
do.
100%. And that's a lot of the nutrient is often in the peel, right? In apples.
So don't do
Not
it.
a lot.
I've just
the
added
time, I
4
imagine.
cups of stock.
Okay.
And it's done. You're going to put
We're
it
ready
on.
to roll.
We're ready to roll. So we're going to put it on high.
Okay.
And we're going to blend it after it's done, 35 minutes. Or
And that's it?
Pierce to the puck. Exactly.
How easy is
and
that?
then you're going to add your maple syrup and your milk.
Nice.
So, see how fast we've
Can
gone
I try
through?
one of the crisps?
You can try one of the
Sorry,
crisps.
but
I want you to try the muffin.
Oh, the muffin. Yeah, I can do that.
But again, so what you want to, yes, it's good.
It brings out the sweetness. Like the rutabaga by itself, not sweet.
No.
This one?
But full
now
of water,
sweet.
full of vitamin
Yes.
C. Like it packs a lot of water.
That's really
the
good.
other thing we're going to be looking out for is our maple syrup. So a little tricky. The farmers are having a bit of a time. The producers
Yeah.
is with the sugar farms, by the maple syrup farms. But again, everybody at home, March break is coming. We're getting some weeks off. Just call ahead to the farm
To double check
and
if
they'll
they're
let
ready
you
to
know
roll.
if they're ready to roll.
Okay.
And then you've got your maple syrup.
And don't forget, this is Canada. We have a maple syrup reserve.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember the big heist?
Yeah.
The big, no, it's a true story.
I know, I don't remember
It was a maple
it.
syrup heist. It was like one of the biggest heists in Canadian history. You know why? Because it was maple syrup.
Yes.
Only in Canada do you get stories like that.
I do
Look
remember
it up, by
that.
the way.
That's
yeah,
true
yeah.
for
No,
sure.
and it was like vats and vats of maple syrup. And they ended up arresting them.
That's true.
It's a true story.
That is true. And the good thing about maple syrup is your Stanley Farms, I'm sure you're going to have all your guests on.
Absolutely.
They have so much already ready.
Yeah.
So even if you don't get to see how it's tapped, go to the farm, go to your farmer's market, get your maple syrup.
And they do the breakfast and
Oh
the
my
brunch,
gosh,
right? And they have
yeah.
lots of fun things that are happening right at the farm going on too. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then apples, the other thing we did add here, have fun with your combination of apples. You and I have talked about apples
Right.
pretty much every time I'm on the show because it is all year round that apples
Yeah,
are in
we're
season.
very fortunate with
so
that.
I've got a couple in here. I've got Honeycrisp and I have Spartan.
Oh, I love that.
So
I love
just
both of
that on
those,
their own, you could be, any of these ingredients that I brought on today, you can kind of mix and match. Just your apples with a little bit of maple syrup.
Nice.
Make it easy, make it fun, so you just have time to goof around and
What?
chat.
What? Who does that?
We're not I don't know.
Who are you referring to?
It's
Julie
unbelievable.
Finley.
Yes. Yeah.
We're doing 2 segments with Julie
Yes.
today. What do we have coming up
Well,
in the next segment?
We
What do
do
we make?
have something. I'm going to let you try your rutabaga soup, by the way.
Oh, this is
Now
this is already
that's our
prepared.
rutabaga.
Okay.
We are going to bring in the sweet potatoes next, and I think everybody's going to love this dish. This is a sweet potato brownie.
Get out.
In fact, I was supposed to ice it, but Megan and I were chatting so much I forgot to. But you're going to taste it, and it's going to be much better
Pour some
anyways
maple
without
syrup
it.
over that.
Exactly.
You don't need icing.
We're set to go
right?
for sure.
So there is sweet potato is the main ingredient in this.
In that thing, because the
this
sweet
brownie.
potato is the other one you kind of walk by, right? And you see it and you're like, I like the sweet potato, but I kind of like my potatoes better. These guys, we're going to make sure
Delicious.
they're popular one more time again.
Yeah.
And,
We are making sweet potatoes and rutabaga popular on this show today. Julie Finley, Mom in the Know, back with some more recipes courtesy of Foodland Ontario. Don't go anywhere. This is delicious, by the way.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hi, I'm Joel Haslam. As you know, February is Heart Month, and once again, I have the privilege of sharing 4 stories from patients at the world-renowned University of Ottawa Heart Institute. They'll talk about their extraordinary experiences of survival, thanks to doctors, nurses, and the entire healthcare team at the Institute. To support life-saving work, to watch these stories, go to februaryisheartmonth.ca.
Hi, I'm Meg, and this is Fit Finley, and we're from Fit Over 50. Join me for a new season, which is full of awesome workouts designed for adults 50 plus. Improve your motivation, your strength, and your energy. Join me for a new season of Fit Over 50 exclusively on Rogers TV.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Oh, things are sizzling in the kitchen, and I'm not just talking about Julie and I. I'm talking about what's on the stove here. Julie, what the heck are we making now?
Well, you know what? I wanted to give a little bit of extra attention to the sweet potato.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, they're like, sweet potato, do you just mash it, which is great.
Yeah.
You can also have French fries, which is fantastic. A lot of people do sweet potato toast. You can actually slice these sweet potatoes and put them in your toaster.
What?
Yes, I've seen it done. Yep. So there's a couple fun things. So again, foodlandontario.ca is the place where you're going to get all your recipes.
In the toaster?
Yeah. In the toaster.
I'm trying
Give it a little test. Yeah,
okay.
for sure. And I'll come clean it up because I know you're like, Jules, you're going to have to come clean this up. But I'm not going to.
I'll do it
it's carefully. Gonna be good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I told you that at the beginning of the year I really wanted to get into soups a little bit more because it's so nice. You can freeze soups. You can give soups to neighbors. You can double the recipe. It's easy to share.
Agreed.
And when it's cold, when it's ever cold, it's nice to come home to as well.
For sure. Yeah, so, and you can freeze it too if you make, as you said, the double batch and that kind of thing.
So I'm going to get you to try
what do we have in here?
The Thai sweet potato soup. So you try it first.
All right.
Okay. And what I've done is I put 1 onion in here. I'm going to add a teaspoon of ginger. Yep. That is. I'm going to add, sorry, that was garlic. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of ginger right here. And then I'm going to add the spices in. So I've got a teaspoon of turmeric, cumin, and coriander. And that's what you're going to just coat onto your onions for a little bit. Okay. See that smell? It's already the comforting smells right there.
And by the way, the soup is delicious.
Oh, good, good, good.
Really
okay.
good. Really good.
And then what we're going to do is we've already chopped all of our sweet potatoes.
Okay. Just a couple? Or what do you got
a couple. I've got 4 actually. I put in 2 to 4. It ends up being 4 cups. You're just going to do this. Stir it for a little bit till it's sauteed. And then you're going to add in this. You guys are going to be so excited.
I am excited.
Just 2 cups of stock.
Okay.
And then...
And anything, right? You could use chicken, you could use vegetable.
Absolutely.
Right? Probably, you wouldn't use beef, maybe?
No, you could if you wanted to. It wouldn't matter. Whatever you have, really, exactly.
Okay.
And then, nope, that's the wrong one. That is not what I want to add.
What are you looking for?
I've got lots in this kitchen. I've got coconut milk.
Okay.
And that's what I love. So if you don't like coconut milk...
That's the creamy consistency here.
Yes, just add more of your chicken stock. It'll be the same thing. So you're going to bring this to a boil. You're going to simmer it for about 35 minutes, and then you're going to blend it in batches. Okay. And that's what gives it its creamy texture. And then what you're going to do, I know, Dave, I move around a lot, but I'm just going to add a little bit of cilantro on there to finish it off. So that is our soup. The other thing the sweet potato is great for is in anything sweet. heat. The moisture of the sweet potato is phenomenal. We are making sweet potato brownies.
Yeah, this blows my mind.
Try it out.
Okay, if I must. Because I've had guests on the show do the brownies with the avocado, right? Because it's got a little bit of the or even beans.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've ever heard of the sweet potato.
I should show everybody at home what I've done with the sweet potato to make it. I've mashed it. So you keep eating, and I'll tell them how I did it. I took one sweet potato, I took the ends off, and then I pricked it all over. I put it in the microwave for about 2 to 3 minutes, or until it's soft enough. Make sure it cools down, take out the insides, and mash it. And you know what? While you're just doing the rest of it, eat the skins. It's delicious.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Agreed.
and if you like it a little more fried up, just throw it on that thing. So we've got a cup of
mashed sweet potato.
Mashed sweet potato, maple syrup again, putting a 1/4 cup in.
Nice.
We're going to put in a cup of brown sugar.
All right.
And we're going to mix that together. We're going to whip it together. While I'm doing that, you've got your dry ingredients over there.
So what do I
You've
have
got
in here?
Flour right there. You're going to add cocoa.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, cup of cocoa. And then you're just going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of baking soda.
Baking soda, okay.
And you're going to whisk that together.
I'm in. You got it.
Okay.
By the way, the brownie also fantastic.
And that's
really
not
is
even
good.
iced.
And that's not even iced, exactly.
You can ice it, which is easier. Just melting chocolate, you're adding some icing sugar and a little bit of milk to it, and you're going to ice it. It's more like a glaze. So if you are choosing to do that, then put your sweet potato brownie once it's finished in the fridge, and you will then have a little bit of glaze on it.
Okay.
Because it has to just harden.
Smart.
The other thing I did ahead of time was I took a 1/2 cup of butter and a 1/4 cup of chocolate chips.
I smelled chocolate
I
when I
know,
walked in
it's
the room.
easy, eh?
Yeah,
And
I
then
went
you
into
just-
like a chocolate dream state for a moment.
And it doesn't take much for this. You're just going to put it in the microwave for about 1 minute or 2.
Okay.
And then the butter will, until the butter melts, and then just mix the chocolate chips until they're blended in.
Okay.
Because it's
Okay,
warm enough.
look at
Yeah.
that.
You're going to do that.
Okay.
And then you're going to pour it into the dry. And then I'm going to add, while you're doing that, I'm going to add in the
A little vanilla. Okay. Oh my goodness. I could just eat this stuff.
See, that's what gets me excited. People are just excited to be in the kitchen.
Just give me the batter.
It could be messy. It could not be. Again, what you're going to do is you're going to prepare. It does ask for a metal pan. It has more heat that's in it. You're going to add some parchment paper. Everyone at home, remember Paula Roy gave us that tip. You just put a little bit of butter on the bottom. It sticks. You're going to mix that together.
You do watch the show, not only your episodes.
I do watch. Of course I watch it. I love all the tips.
I don't know. You're a busy woman.
Oh, no, I know. But it's always on
You're
in the
kitchen
background.
feeding your family and probably the neighborhood.
The neighborhood does come over
Yeah.
for sure. In fact, they might be over right now because they've seen what's happening.
Waiting for this to come back.
I know. And again, it's so fun trying new recipes. And I think that's what I've thought of this year. Sorry, I'm in your space.
No, that's okay.
But I think that's why I was inspired this year is because you got to inspire others. You got to have good ideas.
Agreed.
You walk through the grocery store, there's so much there. You always go to your regulars. But I think it's fun to share, inspire, everything
We have 60
else.
seconds left. Do you have something there?
Oh my gosh, I do. I got too excited about that. What else I've done, because you started eating them, is I roasted. So again, a tablespoon of olive oil to 400 degrees. I've got sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, and onion. But I'm going to make a sauce, so I know I have 30 seconds. I've got a 1/4 cup of yogurt. I've got a tablespoon of tahini, another thing you should have in your pantry. Yep. I've got a little bit of olive oil. I've chopped up some cilantro, and then I've got a little bit of garlic. Once I mix this, I'm going to drizzle it over. Probably won't have time, but the idea is it's a nice little sauce.
You mix it, and then you're going to drizzle it right on.
You're just going to drizzle on top. So the reason I picked that as a side is because you can grab anything, meat or fish or protein, that's local, but I just want to make sure everyone knows that you can grab an easy
You get your veggies, and you want to do it something different, and kids will eat this, right? The kids love the French fries.
They do.
We're going from the kitchen to the Ottawa Humane Society coming up next. We're going to tell you about their World Spay Day and how you can donate and help an animal in need. Coming up right after this. I have to try it with the sauce.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home with her newborn. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Leonard Thompson. 13 years old, diabetes mellitus, 65 pounds.
Starve the child to let them live? The treatment's as cruel as the disease. It's a death sentence.
Dr. Banting, this could be it.
He's the first to receive this trial.
But will it save him?
It's not pure enough.
So we try again. And again. And again.
Before the discovery of insulin, diabetes was a death sentence. Banting, Best, Collop, and MacLeod's breakthrough has saved millions of lives. Leonard Thompson's was the first.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa According to Phil Jenkins on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. We are back with a couple of special guests. One will probably steal your heart, and I'm not just talking about Jillian here. Gwen is our special guest as well from the Ottawa Humane Society. Jillian Lemieux is a coordinator of marketing at the Ottawa Humane Society. Welcome to you both. Great to have you here, Jillian. We must talk about Gwen right off the bat. I mean, she's absolutely adorable. Tell me a little bit about her story.
Yeah, so Gwen is 4 months old, and she was found outside alone as a stray. Cool. And unfortunately, this is the sad reality for a lot of kittens in Ottawa, and that's why it's so important to have pets spayed and neutered, which is actually what we're here to talk about today, to help prevent homeless, alone animals like Gwen.
Yeah, exactly. And I was joking with you, and I'll be honest with our viewer. When Stephen from the Ottawa Humane Society first sent me this information, I read it as World Spa Day, and I thought it's strange that they're doing spay and neutering on World Spa Day, but it is World Spay Day, my friends at home, and this is really important for the obvious reasons. But just Jillian, tell everybody at home just more details on why it's so important to make sure that your pet is spayed and neutered.
Yeah, absolutely. So in addition to preventing pet overpopulation and homeless animals in our community, it's also just really great for your pet's health. So it can help prevent, illnesses and infections, things like that. Like certain types of cancers are more contractable when pets are not spayed and neutered. There's also lots of behavior benefits to having pets spayed and neutered. If you've ever lived with an animal who's in heat, it's not fun.
It is not fun, friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it can help prevent things like spraying, not using the litter box, excessive meowing and barking, roaming behavior, especially in male cats. They try to escape to roam.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so all that can kind of be prevented by having pets spayed and neutered.
I said, obviously World Spay Day is a special day, and it's not just because of the awareness factor, but you're raising funds as well, right? And donations are always welcome at the Ottawa Humane Society, but in particular on February 27th, why?
It's really exciting because we have a matching gift opportunity. So if you donate for World Spay Day before February 27th, your gift will be doubled, and it will double your impact for helping animals just like Gwen get the spay and neuter surgeries that they need.
Let's talk about adoption through the Ottawa Humane Society. Oftentimes people looking for a pet, they may look elsewhere. Why is it such a great idea to adopt a pet from OHS?
Yeah, there's a lot of value to adopting from the OHS. There's so much included in the adoption fee. So every cat, dog, and rabbit that's adopted is already spayed and neutered when you adopt them, which is a great value. As well, they come with microchip, all their vaccinations, dewormer, all those kind of health checks. We check them for diseases and make sure they're all healthy. We do behavior assessments as well, kind of assess their temperament, and that really allows us to find the best match. And Yeah, and you get just a lovable forever companion, just like Gwen here.
Gwen is so. I mean, she's stealing the show. I keep my attention keeps going to the monitor as I watch Gwen going around. When it comes to questions you should be asking yourself, Jillian, somebody at home's watching, they're like, oh my goodness, I would love a cat like Gwen, or perhaps they're looking at a dog. What sort of questions should you ask yourself as a family before you decide on a pet?
Yeah, so it's really important to kind of try and figure out what kind of pet would be the best fit for your lifestyle. So if you're maybe more of an active family, a young active dog might be great for you. But if you're more of a homebody, a young dog wouldn't be the best match. So looking at your lifestyle and what kind of pet would fit best with that, as well as looking at the cost associated with owning a pet and making sure that you can actually care for a pet for its entire life. And we also have resources on our website that can kind of take you through a checklist of things that you should be looking for.
Okay.
Making sure that you're getting a pet from a responsible place is also a really good factor. So that's a great benefit of adopting from the OHS, is that it's an ethical place to be adopting a pet from. It's not a breeder, or sometimes there are some ethical issues with finding pets online.
Jillian, when it comes to cats, when I was growing up, I remember almost everyone that had a cat was almost an outdoor cat that would come indoors. At the OHS, are you encouraging people that if you have cats to keep them indoors now, and if you let them outside, to make sure they have a space outside where they kind of contained?
Absolutely, that is a really important part of being a responsible cat owner. So when pets are allowed to, cats especially, when they're allowed to roam outside, it poses a lot of risks to their health and safety. So obviously cars is a big factor. Lots of animals are in danger from that. Diseases, parasites, all that kind of thing.
Right.
And also, especially if they're not spayed and neutered, it risks bringing unwanted litters of kittens into the world. So keeping pets indoors or on a leash and harness, just like Gwen has here. Supervised outdoor time is what we recommend.
I was on your website earlier today. I noticed you had a Cats for Seniors program.
Yeah.
I've always heard, dogs for seniors and going into seniors' home. Tell me a little bit about that program.
Yeah, so Cats for Seniors is a program where we pair senior cats with senior people, and really make that best match for them. Senior cats often have a little bit less energy. They're not like super outgoing like kittens, so they're great for older people, and they just kind of want to chill time and relax on the couch with you. Pets bring so much. There are so many benefits to having a pet in your life, especially for seniors. The companionship, mental health benefits, they really help with grieving, all that kind of thing. So they're great for seniors, and we have a program that matches them for adoptions.
Right, and all of these pets too, like Gwen, you have sort of a bio and a photograph of them on the website as well. So even before you go down to the Ottawa Humane Society yourself, or you and your family, you can always find out a little bit more information about them. Remind everybody again, World Spay Day is what day, and how do they donate?
Yeah, so it's February 27th. We'll be spaying and neutering tons of animals at the OHS to celebrate. And if you visit our website, ottawahumane.ca, you can make a donation that will be matched from now until February 27th.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Jillian. Gwen, thank you for stealing the show. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Like most of Canada's film and media industries, Todd Studio is mostly straight and white. But by pledging to check their privilege, Todd Studio can now help fund programs to finally create a more diverse talent pool. And Todd, you can stop hiding behind this plan. What?
Actually, I'm in the vents.
Stop hiding from our industry's lack of diversity and pledge to help POV fix it. Go to checkyourprivilege.ca.
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
I still remember the games, the laughter, the footsteps through the hallway. I'll never forget the hard times.
Every day I come back from work, it's always like this. We're yelling in front of the kids.
The help we needed. How far we've come.
On Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. Do you know what your household cash flow is? I'm willing to bet probably the majority of you out there do not know, and there's some simple ways to keep track of all that, what's coming in and what's going out. My next guest is going to help us with just that. Graham Fallis joins us. He is Senior Wealth Advisor with Scotia Wealth Management. Welcome back to the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Derek.
You know, the first thing that you sent in the discussion points was people don't do well with budgets. And I think when I say that, everyone at home, probably the majority of people are like, yeah, that's true. Why do you think we don't do very well with budgets?
Because budgets are just like diets. They're restrictive. And so if you talk to a medical professional, most of them will say there's not long-term success for most people with diets. Right. Same thing with budgeting if you talk to a financial advisor. Budgeting will work for some people. But for many, what you're doing is you're taking a restrictive approach, and human nature is such that we need a little bit of flexibility. Right. So what I want to approach your viewers with today is a different spin on things, a different approach to understanding where's all my money going, and how do I get control of that?
You brought some calendars along with you here, and I was saying, you know, I use calendars not for my cash flow, I'll admit it, but I use it because it just sort of sticks with me, and then I understand what I have to do each day of the week, and, you know, events that are coming up, and special occasions and that sort of thing. But you're saying we can and should be using a calendar, especially writing it down when it comes to our household income and expenses.
Absolutely.
Explain that to me.
So I like to use it as a tool for your viewers. You don't have to go out and buy a calendar. It organizes things really nicely and concisely. You can use just a blank piece of paper. But the whole idea about understanding cash flow is how much is coming into my household, how much is going out.
Right.
And if we use just mental accounting, often we get it wrong. So what we'd like you to do in conjunction with having a calendar is pull out your most recent credit card statement, most recent bank statement. Most of us do a fair bit of purchasing using debit card, Interact, credit card. And so if you have a calendar and those two documents, you can start to piece together, what's actually coming into the household, what's going out.
And then we have regular expenses, right? So obviously, you know, using the credit card, debit card, those can fluctuate on a monthly basis. There's no doubt about that. Sometimes you spend more, sometimes you spend less. But then we kind of have some of our regular expenses too.
Absolutely.
Right?
And so we'd encourage you to start to write it down. So first things first is, what's my money coming in? What's my cash flow? So if you're working, you'll have a paycheck. Your paycheck may be weekly, bi-weekly. It doesn't matter the frequency. What we want you to do is take the time, write it down. And when we say write it down, don't write down the gross amount. If you're earning $60,000 a year, don't put I earn $5,000 a month.
Right.
It's how much is going into your bank account.
So you're talking after-tax money goes down here.
After-tax money.
Okay.
So,
I'm just going to show everybody at home just kind of this example, because you've already brought this along with you here, and maybe you can come over and just sort of point out some of the things that you've written down here.
First of all,
Graham.
I apologize for my
It's not
penmanship.
bad. It's not bad. Graham warned me. He's like, you better be writing stuff. But listen, you've already written stuff. It makes it easy.
I've color-coded this on purpose. Okay. So we start with pay. So in this example, we have the household has a paycheck coming in of $3,500 on the first of the month and on the 15th of the month. Okay. Next step is, we've talked about this before, we've talked about David Chilton, we want to show ourselves some love, What do we do? We pay ourselves first. What does that mean? It means take a little bit of money, put it aside for you.
Okay.
David Chilton, myself, we're going to recommend 10 to 20%. If you've never done this before, that's too big a number. It's too big in practical terms.
Okay.
So just take a little bit. Put aside for you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is to start. You just have to get into the habit, right?
And it's not meant to be punitive. This is putting it aside for yourself, just like exercise should not be punitive.
Right.
Healthy eating should not be punitive. These are things we're doing for ourselves, for our own benefit.
Okay.
That's, okay?
Yeah.
Money coming in, put some money aside.
Got
now,
it.
fixed expenses you mentioned. Most of us have an accommodation expense. So, rent or mortgage for most people.
Right.
Write it down. In this example, we've got a mortgage payment coming out on the 1st of the month.
Okay.
So I put that in a different color to make it easier.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Money coming in, money for myself, and my mortgage payment. Now, most people have a transportation expense.
Right.
So either it's a bus pass or it's a car payment, a car lease. For those people that actually pay for their cars in cash, they're probably they're doing a form of this already.
Right.
But if you have paid for your car in cash, you need to project out. So we probably should be putting a little bit of money aside for our next car purchase down the road.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. I know that feeling. I'm driving a
we all
2009 Honda Civic right now. It's not doing well, friends.
Get your marker out.
Yeah, exactly. Then you got heat, hydro, right? Things
Absolutely.
like that, right? Your cell phone, cable bill, all of these sort of things.
And if you take a look, those bills come in regularly. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you can start to map it out. And the problem with rule of thumb, or pardon me, mental accounting is it's easy to forget the date. Now, take water, for example. Water bill is every second month.
Yeah,
so your hydro
that's
bill's
right.
coming every month.
Yeah.
So it can mess you up. Property tax is a big thing, right? So you have some options with property tax, but if you're not paying it monthly, March and June, you've got these big payments.
Right.
And it can mess up the cash flow unless you're aware that this is coming and actually mapping it out.
What about those expenses that we, aren't? Again, they can be expenses that fluctuate. Holidays, you're buying gifts around the holidays, or you're going away. You've got birthdays, that sort of thing coming up.
Derek, you've got to keep that in mind. And so the starting point is what are the basic necessities or the basic obligations that you're required to do, but then you want to map out from there.
Okay.
And that's what gets people into trouble, is we forget. On this illustration, I've got a birthday, right? So if you have a birthday coming up and you like to exchange a gift, you like to go for dinner, whatnot, map it out approximately.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be to the penny. That's not what we're talking about. We don't want to restrict you.
Yeah.
It's just, look, if you have kids, every September, they're probably going to need some back-to-school wear. Every November, they're going to need a winter jacket because they keep growing. And then we need some money. When you're doing this, if there's a deficit, you have a problem. Then you have to start to go back.
Yeah.
If you're doing this and there's a surplus, don't assume you can spend the whole surplus. Your child comes home with broken glasses. There's an expense I didn't expect.
Yeah.
All these
and those little figures, as you mentioned earlier, sort of just like it will be on your credit card. It's going to be on your debit card, so you don't have to think about. I remember back in the day, you should write every little thing down. Those are kind of separate. They're all in one big bundle. Graham, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Findyournumber.ca, by the way, to get in touch with Graham and his team. We'll be back with more right after this.
Think it's okay to drive high? Think again. Drug-impaired driving is as illegal as drunk driving, and in Ontario, the penalties are the same. If police suspect you're driving under the influence of drugs of any kind, or a combination of drugs and alcohol, and you fail a roadside test, your license will be suspended immediately for up to 30 days. You'll pay a penalty of $198. And you can be charged with a criminal offense of impaired driving, the same as alcohol. Driving high is never okay.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. My goodness, I am so excited to introduce you to my next two guests. Parrot Partners Canada does such wonderful work, and they've fallen on some hard times. So this is really a call to action and a reach out to you, the viewer, to help some of these absolutely beautiful birds. I'm joined by, you just heard Babe right there, also Judith Tennant. She is founder and executive director of Parrot Partners Canada. Welcome, Judith.
Thank you for having us.
Let's talk a little bit about the organization, first of all, a little bit of the history behind it.
Sure. So we've been a charity for 10 years, and we've had financial, stability for 10 years. We have revenue streams, but the very excited.
Yeah.
We have our main goal is to do behavioral and physical rehabilitation with parrots.
Yeah, because Babe has a story, right? Used to what, chew herself quite a bit?
Babe is a flesh mutilator, and that comes from stress. You have to rule out if there's a medical cause.
Okay.
But once you've ruled that out, then you can tell that it's stress from being in captivity.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So she's trying to tell you the whole story herself right here.
I see that. I see that. And how many parrots at any given time do you have in your care?
We're full, and we're full at 55.
55.
But the issue is we could have hundreds, because these guys are not supported by humane societies or SPCAs, because they're considered wild animals.
Really?
So they're a wild animal sold as a pet, and they really sometimes do not fit into captivity at all. And that's part of the reason for the mutilation.
I see. Is that sort of on a government level that you'd like to see that change?
Oh, that would be fabulous. That would be fabulous.
So why haven't we seen that? I mean, because as you said, they sell them as pets, but to treat them as wildlife seems very strange to me.
It is. They're falling between the cracks of wild bird centers, because their mandate is to release.
Right.
And dogs and cats, their mandate is for domesticated animals. So these guys cleanly fall between the cracks. They can live from 60 to 70 years easily. Babe is 42 years old.
Okay.
I know, she doesn't look a day over 30. She doesn't like me telling her age.
I got that, yeah. I got that right away. And you have fallen on some tough times. I understand the pandemic was a really difficult time for you, but there's more than just that. Tell me about some of these struggles, Judith.
So when COVID hit and we shut down, she's saying, what's that? When COVID hit and we had to shut down, our relinquishments went up. So we rode through that as best we could. And then on the heels of that, we had to shut down for avian flu, which is highly contagious, and they have to euthanize the whole flock.
Right.
And then when we came back in, record inflation, everything that we have in our budget went up 3 to 4 times.
Right.
And our revenue streams haven't gotten back to pre-pandemic rates yet. So we're the only professionally certified rehabilitation center. And for us to go down, it means that one of the very few supports for these guys disappears.
Right.
So that's why we're reaching out to the public, and we're asking, please, if you could donate $5, small monthly donation, anything. We have a matching campaign right now, up to $25,000. And that's going to enable us to stabilize and give us a little bit of time to get our revenue streams back up to where they were. And actually more because everything's more expensive now.
Of course. Do you think people tend to perhaps get an animal like this without understanding
yes.
how much it takes, how much care it takes, because it's a very personal relationship, right, with a parrot.
Yes, it is.
Right?
It is. So people tend to think that this is going to be like a dog with feathers.
Right.
And we all know how to take care of a dog. We all know how to take care of a cat. And how hard could it be? And then they get into an environment with a wild animal that is a prey animal. We're predators, they're prey. The dynamic is completely different. And then they realize, I'm over my head. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to solve this.
Right.
That's part of what we do as well. There's a place that you can call and say, what are we doing? We have online training. We have learning modules. We have in-person classes, and we have in-person consultations. So, they're the third most popular pet. That they're in the category of birds.
Outside of dogs and cats, right?
Yeah.
They come in third.
Yep, birds, and of that category of birds, parrots have the top 8 spots. You can't get a word in edgewise.
What is it like living with Babe? My goodness, she enjoys the attention.
She does. She's very extroverted. She is having the time of her life right now.
I know.
She's certain this is going to be her breakout role.
For people at home, are you funded only privately? Do you get any government funding whatsoever?
No
Nothing
government
at all.
funding. We have our fee for service, and we have donations.
Okay.
So that's what does the most. We've seen a drop in donations because of the increase in living.
Right.
So we're just being hit one after another.
Right.
So that's why we mounted this campaign and asking all animal lovers, if you could spare a buck for a bird,
nice.
we'd really appreciate it.
Look at her go. How can you not want to help? I mean, this is just one example of the great birds in your care, and it's unfortunate. As you said, you could probably take on more because
hundreds.
That's the situation that we find ourselves in, and with this. The campaign itself, is that through a GoFundMe campaign at the moment?
There's a GoFundMe. You can donate through the GoFundMe, or you can donate through if you don't want to use GoFundMe, you can use our donation page.
Yeah, if you go to the web page, there it is right there, parrotpartners.org. There's a donate button right there on the front page, and of course you can find out more information about the great work that Judith and her team do, and Babe here as well. Thank you so much, Judith.
Thanks,
really
sir.
appreciate it. Thank you, Babe.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah.
Way to go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Joel Haslam. As you know, February is Heart Month, and once again, I have the privilege of sharing 4 stories from patients at the world-renowned University of Ottawa Heart Institute. They'll talk about their extraordinary experiences of survival, thanks to doctors, nurses, and the entire healthcare team at the Institute. To support life-saving work, to watch these stories, go to februaryisheartmonth.ca.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Welcome back to the show. I'm never surprised how great our community is when they come together, not only to help people in our community, the surrounding area, but to help people in other parts of the world. And really encourage you to listen to this next segment, because it's thinking of those children in Gaza that through no fault of their own are going through incredible challenges. We are joined by Abi Mahmoud and Yara Alam. Abi is the founder and president of DreamMind Group and Foundation, and Yara is the communications and PR person. Welcome to you both. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
Abi, tell me first of all about DreamMind and this idea of putting this foundation and group together.
Yeah, so DreamMind is a company that I have that owns a bunch of bars and restaurants and some real estate. And my late mother, always taught me to give back. So I wanted to give back. So I take a portion of my proceeds and I try to spread as much love as I can in the community and around the world. And that's just, I created the DreamMind Foundation to try and do that, to give whenever we can.
And this time around, as I said, it's in another part of the world, and that is Gaza. And the event we're going to be talking about is called Saving the Children of Gaza. And Yara, I want to talk about, on a personal basis, why did you want to get involved?
Well, I think just for months we've been following what's been happening, and it's so heartbreaking. And then you see all these people suffering and the conflict, and then you see the kids, and that really gets to you. It's the children. And then I wanted to help, but I didn't really know why. And I think a lot of people are like that. We want to help, but we don't know what to do. And then when I heard about the event, I was like, it's the perfect opportunity to do something about it. And just this is direct help for the children. So it's specific to that. And I think it's just a beautiful event.
Well, and you've chosen an organization, Abi, that everybody at home probably is aware of and they've heard about. And I think it's a great organization to choose because you know that the money that you're raising is going to help right away. Tell us about that organization.
Yeah, so 100% of the proceeds are going to go to Doctors Without Borders. I'm underwriting all the expenses of the entire event, so whatever people give, 100% of the proceeds will get donated directly to them. They'll get a charitable receipt for the full amount. Doctors Without Borders are really dear to my heart. I've done stuff with them before. I was in the Democratic Republic of Congo with them a long time ago, and I actually went into the field, and the work that I saw them doing in Congo and Africa, just, they're so selfless. A lot of volunteer doctors doing operations without any electricity in the dark, just helping as many people they can. And it's one of my favorite organizations in the world, and I'm really honored to be partnering with them on this event.
Yeah.
And right now in Gaza, they run a few field hospitals as we speak. They have doctors going in and out all the time. At the event itself, we have, I think 8 or 9 doctors coming for the event to do speeches, and some of them were in Gaza, some are going back. And if any way we can help, we'll do that.
Well, you've got some special guests, and I won't even mention the name. We'll let him tell us a little bit about himself and why he's excited about the event. Have a look at this.
Hi, I'm Carl Wolf. I'm an MTV Award winner and 4-time Juno nominee, and I support humanitarian aid in Gaza. I will be in Ottawa on February 29th, 2024, performing for Peace and Hope at the Saving the Children of Gaza Gala in benefit of Doctors Without Borders. I'm teaming up with the DreamMind Foundation to ensure that 100% of these funds will be donated to Doctors Without Borders, who are on the ground, of course, providing first aid and hope on the grounds. Please visit www.savingthechildrenofgaza.ca to purchase tickets or to donate. I will see you guys at the fundraiser. Thank you so much.
And I've been doing television for 20 years now, and I tell you, that guy is one of my favorite people that I've ever met in all my years doing. He's really. Who you see is who you get. He's authentic. He loves Ottawa. He visits Ottawa quite often and performs. Yara, that's not the only thing happening at the event. Tell us what else you've got planned.
So we're going to have a silent auction from 6 to 7, and then we have a beautiful Mediterranean dinner. So it's all meza and Arabic food, and then we have shows and speeches and just everybody getting together. I think it's going to be really special.
You have another artist as well coming along from Toronto, right?
I do. I have actually a major recording artist. I can't say who yet. It's going to be pretty impressive. A dear friend of mine and a big superstar, so I can't wait. I promise I wouldn't say anything, and we're just going to unveil it, so it's going to be awesome.
Very cool. You know, when you put on events like this, this is something you mentioned earlier, Abby, is the fact that, you know, you've always wanted to do this and you've always given back. Where did that come from for you? Was that always part of, you know, growing up, part of something that you learned from your family?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we come from that part of the world. When I was growing up, my mom would always ask me for money. We'd always send it back, and she instilled it into me very, very young. And we'd always help. And I'd always actually done things. I sponsored a lot of kids all over the world. So every time I opened up a new company, I'd sponsor a bunch of kids. And I did stuff that no one knew about. And I've always given as you know, whenever I can. So I guess it was instilled by my mother for sure. She really helped a lot, and she always encouraged me to do it. And she said, if you're blessed, you've got to give back.
Yeah, and Yara, we talked about this in the green room before the show, is that, you know, not taking anything away from fathers, but I think, you know, and Abby, you mentioned this, that mothers have reached out to you, dozens of them, just saying, wow, you know, how much they feel for these children.
Well,
right?
Yes, I have a daughter, so obviously we were always worried for our kids, and then you just want them to be safe, and then you see these images and you read these stories, and you know that what the parents are going through, but also just like the kids losing their innocence and just like something, it really, really gets to you. So I think this is like just a good way to help and see what we can do and get people talking about it.
Yeah, you've got thousands of kids losing childhood, right?
They don't have food, they don't have water, they're in pain, they're scared, and they don't know why. And that's the thing, like, kids don't have to know why. They shouldn't understand what's happening.
Exactly.
This isn't about them, and I think one thing we can all agree on is the fact that kids everywhere shouldn't suffer like this.
100%.
This is not political. It's not about where you stand. This is about the children, and I think we should focus on that. Yeah.
Thanks to you both. Really appreciate it. I'll remind you at home how to get tickets at the end of the show here as I wrap up where and when it's happening. We'll be right back after this.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
On Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. As promised, Saving the Children of Gaza, that event information coming up right now. So that's happening February 29th, 6 to 11 p.m. It's happening at the St. Elias Event Center. You can find out all the information at dreammindfoundation.ca. And don't forget, as Abby said, 100% of the proceeds are going to Doctors Without Borders. He's taking care of everything else. So you know that when you buy a ticket, that 100% of the proceeds are going to help the children of Gaza. World Spay Day happening with, of course, all around the world, but the Ottawa Humane Society putting together a great program in which all of your donations on World Spay Day will be doubled. So you can go to ottawahumane.ca up until February 27th. Those will be doubled. Such important work that they're doing. So make sure you get a hold of that. And I want to thank all of our guests, by the way. Julie Finley always brings so much food. She leaves a ton of stuff here for our entire crew. So a big thanks to Julie. All those recipes, by the way, at foodlandontario.ca. And if you're looking for a great financial advisor, you can reach Graham Fallis at findyournumber.ca. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Daytime.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
My My name is Risa Solomon St. Louis, and I'm the chef and owner of Bacchanal Taste the Caribbean Lifestyle. I love to eat, I love to cook, and this is one of the reasons why I became a chef. I'm excited to share some of what inspires me when you see me at farmers markets, when we're catering, through our prepared meals, and even our sauces and spice blends that we're known for. Thank you for coming into the kitchen with Risa.